You know, it's that time of the year. The WWE Royal Rumble has been leaked. And guys, this is so crazy. I mean, you guys will never believe who is set to win the Royal Rumble. I'm just kidding. As you guys know, on social media, everybody always tends to post these fake lists. And some are even getting really good at making them seem realistic. But the truth is they're not. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to talk about it, why I think it's so silly, and also why I think they are wrong. Let's talk about it right here on the Ango Show. If you go on Twitter right now and search for Royal Rumble in the search bar, this is what you're going to find. Now, the first one from Not That Tom Green is just a pure parody, which was actually kind of funny. But if you keep going through, somebody just keeps posting this one right here. The Royal Rumble 2025 card, it's multiple posts. The Women's Royal Rumble match, Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax, Gunther versus CM Punk, interference by Seth freaking Rollins. Like, come on, man. You know, if WWE is going to leak a card or anything, they're not going to do it in this type of fashion. This is just laughable. But the sad thing is, so many people think this is actually realistic, and this happens every single year. And that's really just the most unfortunate part. Guys, this is not legit. And then obviously it goes back to showing the men's Royal Rumble match being the main event. So yeah, let's take a look at the other image. This is the women's Royal Rumble lineup, with number 1 being Becky Lynch, who is the runner-up for the match. Lyra Valkyria, Kairi Sane, Chelsea Green, Raquel Rodriguez, B-Fab, Piper Niven, Zoe Stark, Io Sky, Julia, Natalia, Zelina Vega, Bianca Belair, Asuka, Sonya Deville, Jordan Grace, Shayna Baszler, Naomi, Mickie James, Dakota Kai, Liv Morgan, Karma, Ivy Nile, Mi Chin, Charlotte Flair being the winner, Bayley, Candice LeRae, Jade Cargill, Blair Davenport, and Alexa Bliss. Okay, so the reality is Charlotte coming back and winning the Royal Rumble actually could make sense. Becky Lynch also being in the Royal Rumble and being a runner-up could also make a lot of sense. But when you look at the surprises on this list, they don't really make that much sense. And also on top of that, this is just somebody trying to craft a leaked list, basically knowing how to make it seem somewhat realistic. But the reality is that WWE would never actually do this. And then if you take a look at the men's Royal Rumble lineup, you have Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Andrade, AJ Styles, Dirty Dom, Rey Mysterio, Trick Williams, Ludwig Kaiser, Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman, The Miz, Kofi Kingston, Karrion Kross, John Cena, who is listed as the winner, Braun Breaker, Chad Gable, Sheamus, Logan Paul, Finn Balor, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Carmelo Hayes, Jey Uso, Santos Escobar, Drew McIntyre, Jimmy Uso, Damian Priest, Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, and The Rock coming in at number 31 and being the runner-up. Now, okay, this actually could make a little bit of sense. The Rock using his executive powers to enter in the Royal Rumble at 31. It would actually be a very legitimate shock, because if Roman Reigns came out at number 30, nobody would expect 31. So again, this is not a bad idea, but the reality is if The Rock would come back at 31 and he was the runner-up, it's going to be very interesting. Now, also, John Cena being the winner could make a lot of sense as well. I think it's very fair to think that John Cena could earn his way to a main event at WrestleMania by winning the Royal Rumble. But it doesn't change the fact that this is all bullshit. So the reality is more and more of these lists are coming out, and it happens every single year. But you guys need to remember that these lists have never been accurate on social media, and they're always coming from phony accounts that are posting things that were already posted on Reddit. Now, with that being said, I do think this would be a fun time to talk about the Royal Rumble, because some of these ideas could make a lot of sense. Like I mentioned with The Rock being out at number 31. Yeah, the final boss, if he is going to be factored into WrestleMania 41, hey, that could be a way to do it. John Cena winning the Royal Rumble could make a lot of sense. Charlotte Flair winning the Royal Rumble could make a lot of sense. Becky Lynch being the runner-up could make a lot of sense. But guys, the thing that you need to remember is that WWE is not going to post this far in advance anything. And as you guys know, Triple H does do a lot of long-term booking, but the truth is WWE is not going to have the exact order of superstars. Also, Jade Cargill is out with injury. Technically, she could come back, but WWE isn't going to plan somebody's return until they are actually cleared. And we already know that Jade Cargill is expected to miss WrestleMania at this point. So none of this really seems realistic. I'm not saying none of this can't happen, but you just need to remember that fans are always always trying to do this for engagement on social media, and everybody simply just falls for it. Now, I do think there is a lot of excitement for Royal Rumble, and if there's actually one thing that this particular leaked list did right, it was the fact that the men's Royal Rumble didn't have any surprises. And the reality is WWE, for whatever reason, when it comes to the men's Royal Rumble for the last few years, it seems like there's actually been way more surprises for the women's Rumble than it is for the men's Rumble. It just seems like WWE doesn't bring that many legends back or anything for the men's side. So I could probably see that actually being 100% true. I think WWE's roster for the men is completely loaded and completely stacked, that there's probably going to be very, very, very little surprises. Now, when it comes to the women's Royal Rumble, I actually think they're at the point where their women's roster is completely stacked, where they probably don't need to rely on any surprises. However, WWE will typically do that. And of course, I'm going to just mention it. Jordynne Grace being listed in the Royal Rumble would be very odd, considering that Jordynne Grace is still contracted right now to TNA. So that's another indication that this is a fake leak. And obviously people are falling for it, but you just need to remember WWE would never etch in plans for somebody to be on their card when they're still contracted somewhere else. And yes, I understand that WWE has a partnership with TNA, but at the same time too, Jordynne Grace can't even sign with WWE until she's a free agent. So the likelihood of that even happening, yeah, is it possible she will be in WWE? Sure, but can WWE even have those negotiations right now? Absolutely not. So just keep that in mind. And that leaves me with just some final thoughts. Guys, the Royal Rumble is going to be exciting. It's going to be great. WWE is really getting things ready for WrestleMania season, and the Royal Rumble will be a true indication of what to expect for either Cody Rhodes or for even the World Heavyweight Champion, whoever it may be at WrestleMania. At this time, it is Gunther. So what I would actually say is this: get excited for the Royal Rumble. Don't be fooled by the fake leaks. And just remember, WWE is going to start the road to WrestleMania on Raw on Netflix. So whatever WWE's clear plan is for WrestleMania, we'll probably get a very big hint on the debut episode of Raw on Netflix. So there's just so much time between now and the Royal Rumble. WWE will never have it figured out. None of this stuff will be finalized until maybe that weekend. But what I will say is this: I am excited for the Royal Rumble. I always find these lists to be incredibly funny. This one actually seems to be probably the best leaked list, because in years past there's just been so many that are like absolutely random that obviously would never happen. And you guys just got to remember, WWE is actually really good at protecting this kind of stuff too, hence why it's just fake. But hey, it is what it is. I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. This adds to the excitement of the Royal Rumble. Just don't get fooled.